You all know the drill. All know the drill. Just going to pop up here and do our usual shuffling first off. Before we introduce the players, we have an introduction of the map. And we are looking at the Lena River, and it is a ladder match based on the individual ratings left over there. There's a little bit of reclaim around, just under 20k to be had, most of it in the middle on the island, so you can see the large rocks there. And anyhow, we have Team 1 up the top here and Team 2 down the bottom. And if you note, they've gone less random colours and more team-ish colours, so that's quite a nice change. That's been recent models on holiday. Nice to see, makes things a bit easier to really know when you're playing against each other. Okay, so first off, for team number 1, here up on the left hand side, first person of the day, yellow colour, UEF Trespasser. He's not supposed to be here. He's a very naughty person. He should not be allowed to remain. He's a trespasser. Bad guy. You know, he's up in our first land because he's first air because he's hoping to not need land, and he's off to Will's Hydra after 2 mass extraction. Not a terrible idea. His teammate beside him in the orange colour, he's Aeon. It's slow hands, and he's getting to work on his Hydra at the moment. Open up first land for him. Beside, actually right down the front here, it is Tatsu. He's been given the burgundy colour. He is UEF. He actually popped down a first PGM because he figures the Hydra is a little bit far away to walk to. Kind of is. He's not totally wrong, but he's going over to help out over that. And finally, for team number 1, up here in the red colour, in Seraphim, it is BJR White. Old BJ. He is on his way. He's finishing off his Hydra right now. Commander's already moving off towards the mass extractor. Might have been better to get the commander up this way and get the engineer to head down there. I think engineers are slightly faster than the commander, but first scout out from Trespasser just wants to have a look at what's going on for team number 2. So, speaking of team number 2, first off over here on the far right hand side, it is TV Zero Rock. Just going to call him TV from here on in. And anyway, he is Seraphim, as mentioned. He's been given the cyan colour. He's got one air factory there, and ready to go. Beside him, up on this little plateau at the back in the lavender colour, is Henricus Rex. Henricus Rex is also Seraphim. You can see he's got a couple of air factories planned here by the look of it, with that P-Gen outline around the Hydro. And in front of Henricus, it is Sam9112. Just going to call this guy Sam from here on out. And curiously, he's building the P-Gens around his land factory instead of the air factory. The air factory actually draws more power, so if you're going to choose a factory to put your P-Gens around, choose your air factory. It would help reduce the power cost of... And this guy then, air definitely costs more power, and actually, I think he has misplaced, excuse me while I just slow this down, I think he's actually misplaced his factory. Good morning, Gridman, how are we doing? And... he's still got adjacency, but I do wonder if he's put it slightly wrong. Maybe he needs to go up or down 1 square to actually get proper adjacency from other things, but that's aside the point. Let's have a look at the last player for team number 2 and the highest rated player in the game at 1168. It is Space Whales. Space Whales is a Cybran in the light blue, and he's got a transport hub that he's loading up some engineers on. And the question is, where is he going to go with that? Because we quite often see drops on the opponent land space over there, which is usually done by this player though, not by that guy. And no, he's actually just going up here, so looks like he's going to send some engines up this way rather than walk them up. He's going to slide them over. Right, and yeah, big man, no, going well. Yeah, aside from had a good holiday and nice time. This lovely ladder map to bring to you folks. It's going to be a good one. Alright, sorry, just need to get a wee bit of the old liquid down the gullet. Alright, so first expansion is going to be a bit slower for BJR over here. He's actually working on more land factories, which is an odd decision. He doesn't need more of them, and he's planning on a land battle, so maybe he's expecting a drop down this way. But his commander is stomping his way over there gradually, and to be honest, I don't think really... Yeah, compare that to over the side. You can see that old Space Whales has dropped the engineers all around the place. He is grabbing up... Well, they're ready to grab up the rocks. We've got a build woods in the way. There's a mix followed by a factory, then some reclaim going on. Interesting choice with that there, but no, he's going to get much more established over here much quicker, and that's going to help his eco compared to his opponent. But we do have a bomber coming out from a trespasser. A trespasser looking to trespass on the land of space whales over here, but he's going to need to get the bomber over very much faster. In fact, it's not going to arrive in time. This factory is going to get finished, which is going to be detrimental to the bomber's health if he pops out an anti-air turret first off. Although, having said that, doesn't need to worry because there's some defending interceptors that make the bomber go pop. And that's just turned into free mass. Somebody's going to drop that island. They're going to find, ooh, a wreck. Mass under there. Okay, so very important on this map is Navy. There's a huge gap of water, and if your team doesn't get into Navy proper and the other team does, you're going to have a bad time. Just really, I can't stress how important Navy is for this map. And have a look at the islands with the amount of reclaimers on with these rocks. There's 1400 on this island, 13, just under 1300 this island, and 850 on this one. So these 4 islands, we have 1450, 1250 there, brain 26, 2700. There's a T3 mixes worth of mass to reclaim on these islands, so that'd be 42 mixes. You want to get them, and then you get the other 3 islands at the same again. So you don't want to let your opponents get that mass. You really want to drop on those islands, grab the nice big rocks as fast as you can, and even the mixes if you so feel like it, but the rocks are probably the more important. That will help jumpstart your early eco and will get you to upgrading mixes. And speaking of mixes, why has TV not built his? Surely he knows about the whole thing with like, you should be. Why has he upgraded his existing mass extractors? Okay, don't do this. Okay, don't upgrade to T2 before you build all your mass extractors. Build all your mass points first, then upgrade to T2, then cap, then upgrade to T3. This is how you do it. You hate to see it. I mean, I just don't get it. It's not like he's been bombed, like there's no wrecks or anything. He has a build order in place from this guy, finally moving out, but honestly, it needs more build power. He needs more engineers. He's got one sitting over here doing nothing. He's got, okay, this one finished up with the radar, so that's fine. But his commander's down here assisting a factory when he could be walking up here grabbing that mass extractor. Oh, hate to see it for yourself, but yeah, love to see it from the end. But look at these, he's upgraded things to T2. That hurts. It hurts my soul seeing that. Okay, up this way you can see that Sam has decided to just pop down a couple of point events and a radar, so just wary about incursions coming to that island. He could now split these engineers off and go grab the rocks. Not okay, he has got one of them focusing on, if he's got both of them focusing on the rocks, doing the same moves. I would have split them. I would have sent one this way to grab those, one this way to grab those, and then do the mass extractors afterwards, but hey, that's me, that's his choice. And over here we can see that TV has grabbed this island and he now has engineers going around grabbing rocks. He has factory up for getting some more build power out, and that actually belongs to Tatsu. So Tatsu was either dropped, no he's dropped, here's transport. He's actually dropped this engineer here and he's just gone and captured the radar. Okay. Obviously TV is not paying attention because the attention's going to be a sub, but I'm going to say I'm not too surprised, considering his attention span hasn't grabbed these mixes in his base yet. I hear a bomber. That'll be that bomber up there, and it is doing, I don't know what it's doing. Decided to bomb the trees. Some wrecks there, might just be scouts. I think they're just scout wrecks. I don't really see, no, that's the earlier bomber wreck. I'm not sure what it bombed, but it certainly set the trees on fire. Maybe that's why, maybe it was a distraction, or the transport which dies and falls on this engineer. He takes a transport to the head and gets a bit of a headache. He'll be right though. He'll be fine. And hello, we have a drop coming in. So BJR has decided to drop. That's why he built all those land factories. And these guys now are ready to pop off some mass extractors. They can do some damage. There's a single engineer who is going to try and start building a factory. Could maybe get a bit of an incursion. But these guys can go along, they can drop some shells down onto these naval factories, or they can head in this way for the eco. That's going to be their choice and they will figure it out. But up this way we are going to see the radar has been captured back, and rather than realize that something is wrong on the island and building some combat units, well, they're sending the engines out. I guess that'll be okay. They're going to get up this way and probably capture, or you know what, I'd wait for this NG to finish, then I would reclaim the NG and capture that, just to get the extra tech. Having said that, I suppose it doesn't matter, his teammate has UEF tech somewhere. Yeah, there we go. He could just grab an NG off Sam, so he doesn't need to worry about that. Okay, so these forces did kill off a couple of mixes, but there's T2 on the commander, and that has popped up a trade, which is going to ruin these guys' day. So no more doing from there. And the engineer over here just got killed by a bomber, so the factory did not finish. I do wonder if it might have been a better idea just to stunt the naval production a bit. If they were there, could have popped in and thrown some AD shells over just to be extra annoying, but decided on the otherwise. Up here though, there was a striker tank drop from Tatsu. I saw that coming on the transport. There it is, transport's right there. And well, you know, just popped the tanks out. They killed off the engineers that were reclaiming his own, and now they need to get a move on before they get killed by Marauding T1 Arty. Sitting still while T1 Arty's in the area, really bad for health. Now they move, and they should be able to kill off the Arty quite happily. There is, however, a frigate in range of this factory, so it has a limited lifespan. And these guys sitting still again, going to have another bad day with the T1 Arty still doing T1 Arty things. So a little bit of micro will keep these tanks alive, but it's not going to matter with two frigates now attacking the factory. So that's going to be a hold for TV Rock. Okay, I see another drop coming along. That's a... I'm going to figure out the composition of this unit here. Like a bunch of combat units. I don't see an engineer. This looks like a couple of tanks and adding some anti-air on board. Okay, that's fine. T1 engineer has swum floated, which is a little way over, and it can actually get up there. And the question is, what's it going to do? Well, the answer is probably not a heck of a lot, especially with some T1 bombs overhead. One bomb kills off all those, heavily damages those guys, and flies right over the T1 AA that's here, but these are all grouped together. Single bomb, ooh, that's a lot of damage. Then comes some gunships and the Vultures that kind of clean up whatever the bombers do. That's not going to work as an incursion. And this island will definitely 100% remain in control of TV. So there we go. It was an attempt, but it did not work. Okay, let's check the other islands, and we can see Tatsu has dropped here and grabbed the rocks off this island. He has also dropped over here, and all those rocks are gone. Bomber is floating overhead. Don't think it's really going to matter. All that's left on here is a couple of mass extractors and then a single engineer who is maybe sitting a little too close to the point defense that bomber's going for. I'm just going to go, I should be okay. I find it curious he's chosen to focus on the point defense and not the engineer that's building beside it. Although a second bomber comes in, and I imagine that will go for the engine. Over this side we can see that Trespasser has actually claimed this island here. He's well established, got a factory, he's got a couple of anti-air, got a radar, got some more anti-air, and patrolling around grabbing up all the trees, so that's all good. We have a massive air fracas going over on this side because some gunships, those Vultures that we saw before from the TV, they have come over to this main island and decided to kill off a few mass extractors. They're all T1s, so it won't take too long to rebuild, but Vultures' job done, try to run away, but they run afoul of a band of Swiftwinds who decide that those Vultures do not need to keep flying through the air. Goodbye, Vultures. A few more loitering over that way, but they're not going to have a good time if they try to intercept those. And we have a factory. So TV Rock has actually got a factory down that is going to be in range of not the air turret. Okay, I thought it might have been a point defense, but no, it's an anti-air turret. So it's not going to get a lot done when the mobile RT pops out. You know those ground forces you had? You're going to need to send them this way. Really going to. Okay, let's check out the Navy game, because Navy is important on this map. As mentioned before, we have T2 Navy in the water for space whales available. We have T2 Navy here for Sam, though he has no support, no extra burp power on those factories, so they're going to take a bit longer to do things. We have T2 Navy down here, though not building anything, so I'm going to guess TV Rock is more focused on his little wee factory down here, and somebody is building a point defense from a very, very long way away. That's going to take some time to get there once it gets started with something else. But that's going to be it. Okay, no Navy for BJR. He is focused up on the air and he's on his way towards T3 air. In fact, he's 40% of the way towards a T3 air upgrade. No Navy here for slow hands either, but he's already got T3 air and working on his first quantum reactor. We do have T2 Navy in for Tatsu, and yes, T2 Navy in for Trespasser, who also has a bunch of willpower, including some hive drones. Okay, so it is 2 versus 3 in the Navy, but how's the air game for team number 2? Well, we have T3 air over here. Yes, we do for Henricus, and we have a T3 air upgrade on the way for Space Whales as well. Good evening, Altizen. I see that little wave there. How you doing, my friend? Nice to see ya. Hope you're having a good day. Over this direction we have a submarine swarm about to get absolutely obliterated. Came in all confident and they took out some extra subs, but more coming in from Sam. I'm going to say, nah, go away, shoo, be gone. And that is going to be the end of those guys. Up this direction we see there is a destroyer trying to shoot a, well, fuck the ground. Successfully killed one buskill, but the other one is hiding behind a hill. And that's just like the ultimate defense. You can't shoot it through the hill, you're not going to get anything done, and instead now that destroyer is taking some long-range cruiser fire, just sitting still, getting chipped away by all that, and the destroyer comes along to join in the fun. I thought I saw something explode over this way. Or maybe it was over this way. Probably that. Yeah, there we go. Destroyer comes in to say hello. Destroyer could have stayed out of range, and this would have just been taking extra damage from all of their cruiser fire. But now this destroyer here is probably going to get a little overwhelmed. It has a destroyer plus a few frigates plus submarines. That'd be enough to take it out. Should hopefully be able to take down this destroyer here if it focuses down. But instead it's firing at the frigate. Not what you want to go for, and indeed it does get overwhelmed and destroyed by this much larger band of units. So done. Right, over this way we can see more naval out from Trespasser. He's got a small band of TT here under some shielding, a couple of destroyers and a cruiser. Not a bad little mix. Will help survivability. Right, the destroyer over here now stops still again, but this cruiser has never stopped firing at it, so sitting still is a bad idea when there are missiles coming in. Whereas the next one's kills off the mass extractor, but then gets promptly sunk by the long-range attacks. Don't sit still. Do not sit still. Right, small band of ASFs are here from Henricus. They are wanting to control the mid-skies. Maybe they took out some torpedo bombers, perhaps. Uncertain. I hear them. I hear something. Ah, it's a Janus. So, the most ineffective unit possible against the Navy, a Janus. I mean, it's dropping fire on water. It just seems like a really silly idea. Really silly. Alright then, bit of reclaim to be had here. There's a few T2 wrecks, a couple of ships, and of course that mass extractor all ready to be picked up. So we can see a small push coming in here from Trespasser. Wants to be a bit cautious. If he gets too close, he will be biting off more negatives. There's a bunch of frigates, there's a bunch of subs, there's a couple of destroyers and a cruiser. You have a terrible time, but this cruiser of his is in range of this T2 mass extractor. Perhaps that's the reason for moving on up. He wants to kill this off, and if he does, it's going to be handy just to knock out a little bit of eco. This is always annoying to lose a T2 mass extractor, and these guys are shooting at the ground deliberately. Somebody has quite literally said fuck the ground and are shooting at the ground, but there's nothing. Okay. Interesting choice. We'll let him enjoy that. Yeah, over this way, ASFs are flying over flak for some reason. Perhaps it was a bomber around that I missed. I'm still hearing bombers. Are they? There we go. There's a Janus over here that has been... It's got one kill, but what was it even shooting at? Trying to kill the point defense. Badly. I think it did more damage by falling on the anti-air turret than actually bombing that. But anyway, it has done some damage, and the mass extractor is going to die thanks to the cruiser over this way. still a couple of engineers on the island, so even if that Janus had killed off those, it wouldn't get much else done. As it is, it's just become a mass donation, a few hundred mass there ready to reclaim. Look at jamming giving false targets. You have a point, actually. I completely forget about that. I do forget about the UEF underheads and this radar jamming. Who's trying to defend against the attacks coming in, but not successfully. And these guys are going to want to think about moving away now because they're about to get bum rushed by a much larger force. The shields aren't going to hold for long against that kind of impact. And indeed, there we go. The shield boat is not being primary. The frigate is. Not what you want to do, and that actually might give them a chance to even the odds a wee bit. There was a stealth boat which would have been relatively useful to keep alive, and I see a strat on the left hand side. It is going for some mass extractors. Question is, how alert is the air from team number 2? As the strat comes on over, gets a second mass extractor. Is it going to get a third? Well, it's not going to get that one. Probably going to get this one, but the ASFs have come over from Mr. Space Whales. The strat's going to die, but it has got itself 3 mass extractor kills. Probably worth it? Don't think so. It's about 3,000 mass to make, only killed off, well, they've taken time as well. Might have been worth it. Okay, in the Navy scene, let's just see how things are going for these guys, and it kind of looks like a bit of an advantage for Team 2 in the water. We have a few units over here, though those are just T1, probably don't amount to a heck of a lot. We have a solid band of T1 with some T2 mixed in for Sam, and on the left hand side, Space Whales has very much got a large band of Navy, which is a decent threat to all of these guys. Should they start getting a bit closer, they need to stay within range of the Mermaid to stay hidden, but there are constant scouts coming over. This is the answer to mermaids. If you can't see the Navy because it's under stealth, build T1 scouts. Then you can, briefly. But that brief visibility is enough for these guys to get a target and actually start shooting at them. You see there? Oh look, we can see them. We can shoot them now. And that's what you need. It's kind of it's small waste of mass, although it's more of a waste of mass if you can't see the targets you want to shoot at. So yeah. Stealth Navy, it's just annoying. Over here we see it is double destroyer versus one destroyer over this way, and this guy's going to have a really bad time trying to fight off that. In fact, it is dead for not even doing half damage to this guy. And these two are now clear to clean up. They could even come over here and knock out the factories, which one's upgrading, and maybe all the engineers as well. We'll see how that develops. Right, I am hearing torpedo bombers. They are killing a radar signature because these are UEF. So they focus down on a radar signature, drop their torpedoes on against nothing, which is very unfortunate for them. However, does get another run through, but lies to the AA of the cruiser. Right, this direction we have a push coming through, and this is kind of what happens. Hello, battlecruiser. Trespasser has moved into the T3 range of things, and that spells bad news for these guys. Battlecruiser which is preceded by these destroyers, they're going to get visibility, and it is going to be able to do things like that. Massive salvos causing a huge amount of damage, and Space Whales decides he's going to drop back in the pace of that rather than push. I reckon he might have been able to push that. He does have a large number of destroyers. He could have got frigates out and potentially... Well, it's a bit late now. He did run and he's kept on running, and now the battlecruiser has set a range. The torpedo bombers are coming on in, and there's no cruiser. That battlecruiser is going to have to turn around and flee the scene. It's got nothing to do there, but the shield blips on just in time from the shield boat. Which helps keep some health on that. Yeah, no, that was something I learned the other day, Foodman. Salems cannot shoot backwards. For those of you who are wondering, Salems, they have one gun on the front, and it can't face backwards because that is in the way. The build of the boat means it can't shoot backwards. So, Siren are not designed to run away. Ever. Running away with a Salem, not the greatest idea. Similar to a crab. You turn around and run, you're basically asking for a bad time. But that battlecruiser is in dire straits, and he's not pushing to finish it off. That is a strange decision. I would have kept going. If the battlecruiser is heavily damaged, you still got torpedo bombers having to go at it. You could have killed them off and gotten here and killed off the production perhaps? That would have been a better idea in my opinion. Push that, kill off the build power, maybe even stop that being built. Okay, and we have 5 naval factories in the water for Tatsu. We still have, oh there we go, we do have Navy over here from Slow Hands. He has gotten into the water. BJR is not in the water at all, and this guy over here, a couple of destroyers out for Tatsu, just simply but overwhelmed by the double navy of here, and he's moving more destroyers in. This is not the cleverest idea. I would get them away if I was him. I would pull them back and try and keep them alive. Speed bombers trying to do their thing over here, but they're running into a cruiser, which is not very effective. You don't want to try and torpedo down a cruiser. So you have enough to kill it in one pass. This destroyer is dead, man. Oh, hello, T2 transport drop full of Zuis. Gonna land on the ground, but they're heavily damaged from the couple of flak shots over there, and now they are free to do some murdering. No, there is nothing on the ground to actually stop those. And if they lob their shells directly onto the factory, there won't be anything, because every time it tries to build something, the shells land and they destroy it. Though a T2PD is trying to be sped up, and there is a few THAMs ready to roll in, so maybe not the first radio, but the factory is down, but there's still engineers around, so it's not going to really matter. Just going to be a time thing with killing those off. So interesting choice for a drop, but hasn't quite cleared the islands due to there still being engineers around. Okay, Navy is pushing back. We have Sam all up in the bay here with some units. We have TV Rock over here, got a cruiser and a few destroyers. They can start lobbing some shells. Well, the cruiser can start lobbing his tac missiles in, killing off mass extractors. These guys can move on up and cause mayhem on the waterfront. Over on this side, we can see that Space Wells has a very sizable army, including a battleship. So he has got himself into the T3 Navy as well. Meantime, it is all battle cruisers for Trespasser, who's actually got some engineers out repairing this one. Maybe he wants to try and keep it alive so he can get that rank of veterancy, which will undoubtedly help it with his health and regeneration. It's going to take a while to repair though, with these guys. Quite a while. 2 battle cruisers out in front of it to be protection, and a bulwark shield ship. Yeah, keep it alive for the moment. But here we go, Navy in the bay. And free kill over here. Oh, that's going to hurt. 84% upgraded T2 mass extractor, and he's not even going to get the reclaim back owing to the cruise attack missiles that were still in the air. That is quite a lot of wasted mass. 85%, looking at about 3,000 mass for that upgrade, which is all gone. And the same over here. More destruction. Attack missiles coming in, nothing reclaim out of that. So yeah, be slightly unhappy if I was Tatsu. That is a big loss. That was almost T3. But why he's upgrading that one all the way on the front and not this one? He is upgrading these ones, but these ones are what I focused on first. Upgrade them one at a time, people. One at a time. Unless you have the mass to burn, which he doesn't. So I'd pause one of these. I would finish the extra. Oh, he's built that in the wrong place. It's blocking the. Don't get me started. Don't get me started, because I will not stop. Okay. This way. They've stopped repairing the battlecruiser, and they are trying to kill anything that comes in range. There is a battleship here which will cause havoc if it doesn't. Oh, hello, drops. That is a lot of Zuis. And the only question is, how much damage can they do before they all die? There's a large amount of ground forces down here from Space Wars, so he might be expecting some kind of drops, overcome the ASFs. They will make sure there's nothing in the region to shoot these down. They're going to distract the AA on the ground for a little bit long enough for the transports to get down, and here they come. There's a lot of Zuis, and the Zuis are now free to get to work, but they have landed in the middle of a whole bunch of units, and they're going to start taking casualties left, right and centre. The mass extractors do die pretty darn quickly, but is it worth it? That's a lot of firepower coming out. That's a lot. Zui's having fun, but they're 1, 2, 3, 4 T2 mass extractors plus the extra, and was that, I think that was a transport shot out of the air, because those guys are all dead without moving. And as we just get on over, they're not even to kill the factory. They did kill the Hydro, but Hydro wasn't even built. That's hilarious. But that's quite a mass donation. I don't know if it was worth the 4 T2 mixes. Maybe worth it. Right, we have air trying to assist the Navy over here. We've got some torpedo bombers out. We have these guys are now in retreat from this very sizable force. A lot of destroyers plus under a bulwark. We have, those are Solaces actually, so those are T3 torpedo bombers available new to the Aeon, but boy do they punch a wallop. The torpedoes come in and just have a look at what happens to that destroyer and just gets absolutely decimated by the amount of damage those things push out. So yeah, Aeon T3 torpedo bombers, very nasty. Very nasty indeed. Of course they cost a lot and they should be nasty being T3. So very much living up to their name. Okay, but here we go, the destroyers are coming in one by one. Not the best idea. These submarines, they get a little bit too close to the UEF destroyers and they're going to get turned into scrap because the torpedoes on these things, while not long range, they are powerful. Will kill off T1 subs while basically ignoring them because they also have torpedo defense. Here, left hand side, and you can see here the battleship. Battleships out front for space whales. What's the range on those? That's the range on those, so they can afford to move up a little bit further. They might start doing some damage to these guys here, just trying to take them out. But are they still on the repair mission? They are still on a repair mission. Okay, really want to get that battle cruiser alive. Could have put it back here, could have control K'd it, turned it into something else, but that's a battleship coming out for a trespasser. T3 Navy out for him. Okay, we have T3 Navy on both sides. We have a sizable Navy here taking on a sizable Navy here. These destroyers are, well, they're focusing on destroyers down here, good idea. In fact, they don't really have much else to focus on. Oh, well, they could focus on the battleship. So there is T3 Navy for TV Rock. He has got himself into that game and is having a good old time. These guys need to get a move on. They don't want to sit still while there are cruisers around. They don't want to sit still while there's a battleship around. They need to get in range and start doing some damage. Do we have T3 Navy up here? No, we don't. We still have a T2 HQ. And T3 Land and T3 Air, which is currently not producing cruise stage. And that's a lot of air down here. My word, that's a buckets of ASFs. Some shields, a really strange layouts. I think he just needs to get his units out of the mix. They're causing problems over the side though, and this lot has been rushed. No, so Trespasser pushed forward with all of this and has found a response in the form of a pair of battleships causing damage. There is the summit back here, of course, for some backup, but it's quite a ways away from the front, and that's an aircraft carrier as well, so Space Whales is very much into T3 Navy, and that is going to be an issue for him. Although in comes these torpedo bombers. What are they going for? Have they spotted the carrier? I think they have. All those torpedoes have been focused on in a lot of damage, but they don't kill it. It stays alive, and now a lot of these, they're coming back for a second pass. I forget how weak the Cyber anti-air on their boats are. Even the cruisers are very slow to kill because of the very slow muzzle velocity. Take a look how long it takes those shots to get through. The carrier goes down. The battleships are still very much alive though, and they are going to do bad things to battle cruisers if they stay loitering in range. They can maybe focus down the one that's in red. That would be an idea, but bulwarks turn up. And under the shield protection, these battle cruisers can actually do a lot of damage to a battleship in close range. But that is fine. Pushed back. Holding mid. Large force here ready to go. A Tempest is coming along from Slowhand, so he's staying in the air game. Now he's getting into the Navy game in a literal big way. Biggest naval unit possible. And why still a reasonably static front. A little bits of pushing here and there. Question is, what's next for these guys? Well, let's just have a check on up here, and it's just air all day for BJR. He's got the ARAS upgrade on his commander. He has an SMD in the middle of his base, so he's worried about a nuke. Has the be. There has been a nuke built. My team 2 now is about halfway loaded. Let's see if they know if it exists. They should know, because it has been scouted, so they should very much know there's a nuke ready and loading. And who has SMD? I don't see Trespasser with one. I see, there we go, so there's one in the place for slow hands, and that is loading. It should, with some assistance as well, it should complete before the nuke does. And there's an SMD here for Tatsu. It's been there for a while, it's already loaded. In fact, he's paused it. He hasn't left it on auto load, he's just built one anti-nuke in it and then just left it sitting there. You get it? And if you hear that strategic launch detected, you probably want to keep loading it. Alright, so the only person who doesn't have an anti-nuke is this guy. We're going to want one. Okay. It said that this anti-nuke here does not cover any of this naval production, nor does that one, so that is Tatsu in the water. If they knew he was there, he might be in trouble. Get sniped by a bunch of torpedo bombers, or could get nuked while sitting there. As far as that nuke going, well, it has barely moved. Base whales must be stalling on mass, something chronic. Oh, not awfully. So, pro tip, if you're stalling en masse, nuke launches and nuke defense will not load. Space Whales has finished that Tempest, it is here, it is ready, it can go for a jaunt to start shooting things at extremely long ranges. It'd be fun to use against these battleships, for example. Get it going, and indeed there it is. So the range on that thing is quite frankly massive. It very much outdoes the range of a battleship. It's the range of a battleship, looking at about that distance, and if we swap that, has more range than the battleship. So the battleship has to get in close. Right then, a massive air engagement over here, although it's going to say engaging over top of these units would be a bad idea, but however, there's no anti-air in there. It is all battleships and mermaids. Mermaids on patrol? But no. But we here see Space Whales is trying to reclaim their mass. In fact, he has reclaimed their mass. They can go back into his coffers and recycle it into new units. Over this way, the Navy in the middle. And downside for the Tempest is the very slow turret rotation and the slow muzzle velocity. When it fires, you have a long time to move out of the way without getting this. Although if you move in a straight line, it's going to nail you. So just turn a little bit and the Tempest misses a little bit of micro and it becomes way less effective. Massive push that coming in from team number 1, combined forces of Slow Hands and Tatsu. They've absolutely routed this mid-base. There's a battleship over here which is stuck in the middle of nowhere. And you can see a bit of friendly fire from the Tempest. Actually kills off a destroyer from Tatsu. But their battleship is going to go down. It's getting absolutely hammered by all of this. And these guys have no choice but to keep fleeing in this general direction, hiding under the bulwarks and getting the battleships to do some extra damage. If they can help thin out some of these numbers, it'll be incredibly helpful, especially with that coming up. And this is a torpedo bomber snipe attempt on the HQ. Nowhere near enough. Needed about 3 times as many. Fortunate with the bulwark coming out, actually. That was a very fortunate time. We could help keep things alive, but definitely needed more torpedo bombs than that. Maybe about that many. That might have done the trick. Might have. But either way, these guys are going to get maybe 1 pass or 2. There's a bunch of assets loitering around, although they're chasing some scouts. And I definitely hear, yes I do, I hear these guys. Strategic submarines with their long range and very loud attack missiles. They're having a grand old time. The torpedo bombers are in and they are doing damage. There's going to be one very shortly. Dead Galaxy, there it goes, sinks down to the bottom of the ocean. 2 are left, 1 very heavy damage. They come for another pass, which is all they're going to get with this wing of assets in from Henricus Rex. Plus they're going to pick up another Galaxy. So that's 2 battleships down, not what you want to happen. Having said that, he has got more down here. Battleships are coming out from these 2 factories, so his production is okay. Army in the middle, sorry, Army flotilla. Navy's a flotilla. Navy's a flotilla, that'll do. We have a broken summit sinking down to the bottom that obviously belongs to Sam. We have the Tempest still around and retreating in the face of gunship swarms. That is a lot of whalers. They having a go, but hello, what's this down here? There has been a drop from BJR while we've been focusing on the Navy. He's grabbed a T2 transport. There's a Rambo comm and some engineers to build some factories out. He's dropped another Rambo comm down here. This transport, and it is currently murdering its way through everything. Rambo comms, of course, they have overcharge as well, and they can kill things pretty handily. They're also quite tough. They can have a grand old time, but this guy is walking straight into some engineers and point defense. You can kind of ignore that. You can just walk on up and have a grand old day. Clear things off. That's only a T2 mix, but it is upgrading. And this guy wants to think about changing up his targeting. Kill off the point defense, overcharge the engineers, get rid of the build power, no more problems for him, and more factories on the way for BJR. Although, having said that, here comes some cruisers and a destroyer as well. That's going to make this quite short-lived. Okie dokie. So that's a drop from BJR, but it's not going to get a lot of things done. Indeed, here comes the whalers. They have returned from the front and they're going to make a very quick meal of this Rambo. Might as well walk forward now and try and kill as much as possible while you're at it. Their health is just going to disappear. T3 gunships are no joke, and you can see the health is just disappearing off of that guy. Okay, that's a difficult way, because there's still this large force in the middle here. They're ready to go and cause some havoc. All of this is basically doomed. The whalers come in to help out. The ASFs are rooting around from Incursions. He is aware. Doesn't quite want to poke this particular dragon just yet, because that's a lot. A second Tempest out from slow hands. This is looking brutal. And if BJR sends in these ASFs, I think he could win this fight, but the whalers are absolutely turning the tide of all of this. Indeed, we also have some sub-hunters coming in here from TV Rock, and the whalers are now having to go at the Tempest, and there we go. The ASFs from BJ have been triggered. They are just moved slightly close enough to those whalers to come off their patrol and get engaged, although these guys are still just floating around doing not much. They have not been moved close enough. Now they have sort of, as the air fight goes on, the ASF is going to be drawn in, and it's going to be a right royal air battle in the middle here. But is that a disengage from Rex? Disengage and moving on back in, but he does take down one of the Tempests, so that's a good singular kill. But now he needs to get out. He does not have enough ASF to take this engage. He needs to move away and drag it over the aircraft carrier. Not a bad idea. We're going to see a few ASFs get popped by that thing if it can hit, which it seems to be struggling to do. Those shots are missing horribly. He goes out of that guy. Tactical nuke. Alright, so Trespass decided he's going to go bomb something. Whether he's going to get his commander elsewhere or he's just doing his defensive tactical nuke in his base. What is the range on that? Well, it's not too bad. I guess he could throw it out there against some Navy coming in, but we'll see how that goes for him. That is indeed a complete 100% disengage in the middle here. A couple of torpedo bombers are patrolling around. They want to come back and take care of this guy though. And T3 Sub-Hunter, nothing doing, and yes indeed they are dropping their torpedoes down. That's going to cause some extra damage. There was a, there we go, Sub-Hunter down here, so Sub-Hunter versus Sub-Hunter. The assistance of some torpedo bombers definitely help out. Swiftrum comes over, and that's what an aircraft carrier should do. What? Sometimes I can't hit it when it turns. There we go, finally goes down. Silly thing. Note some decent damage done by those support Rambo comes up here, and that's an Awassa being built by TV Rock, so he's confident that they have the air as air control. When it's doing that, we have SMD up there. How's that nuke going? Well, that is building incredibly slowly. That's how slow it's building. That's because one, he's stalling mass. He's stalling mass, so it's not going to load while you store mass. And additionally, got no build power on it. So stalling mass equals no missile construction and nuke launches and nuke defense. If you're stalling mass, this does not build. So very important. If you're in the nuke game, don't stall mass. There we go. There has been one built by Trespasser. So he hadn't even started that. That will be the Billy Nuke. I ran on out. He hadn't even started that while Space Whale's nuke launcher was at 50% built. He has now managed to build and load that SMD, and in the meantime this has only got another 25% of a missile. So Space Whale stalling hard on mass means that does not load. But in fact, he's got the most eco in the game, just followed by Tatsu, 530 for him. Actually, we barely looked at the eco, and it is well in favour of team number 1. 1.8k versus 1.4 overall. They are well ahead. Really haven't been utilising it though. They have been pushed back in all sorts of locations. Indeed, we have a bunch more destroyers being pushed out here. They have caught out this aircraft carrier though. That goes down, but now there's a battle cruiser as well as a battleship. And Cooper gets all shot down. These guys aren't going to be long for the world. Tech sharing. And yes, tech sharing. So there we go. There's a Cybran engineer has been handed over by Sam, and he's now got Cybran in the water as well. What wants to think about a mermaid, which is really well. So mermaid plus bulwarks. Very handy. Okay. That is completed. The Awasa is good to go from TV Rock. He has completed that. Now he needs to think about rebuilding his mass extractors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 empty mass extractors need to get rebuilt. There we go. He's actually got one just finishing up now, so he's getting there. He is getting there. Right, frigates pushing destroyers. That never works. And a few cruisers, and they looks like they are killing off, trying to kill off this naval factory. They might succeed, depends if the battleship moves closer or not, but those TAC missiles are definitely going to reach, definitely going to kill over there. Boss is still underground. We have nuke subs over here, they're loading on up. We have, oh, and a Wassa coming in from BJR over there. Nothing of note coming out from Slow Hands, and nothing of note from Trespasser either. We have a look at team number 2. Aside from the Awasa, we've got the bugs planned. Yep, a couple of bugs planned out there. Like a bit more of an air grid going on, and 2 more air grids. Nuke is still loading. Going up, so the only... ooh, that's going to cause some damage. Bosh. Not like a mini nuke. Does land in the water, but there's a nuke house, and it's not from Space Wells, it is from this guy right here. Strategic missile coming out from the nuke sub, and it's coming over to the left. Oh, that's going to be a pain. These guys can't get out of the way. It's going to cause a mess. Well, actually, it's only a submarine nuke. It's not going to cause as much. Basically landed on this battleship, and it's not dead. But 3 nukes out, and where are they going? They're coming on down this way. They are going for Sam's base. He does have an anti-nuke, but it's only got 1 loaded in the clip. One's going to get shot down, but the second one won't, and the third one won't. Sam is running away with this combat. Is he out of range? I think just... okay, he's well out of range. Doesn't take any damage from either of those nukes, but his base has been turned to scrap. Still has plenty of build power actually. That's maybe not as good a nukes as I thought in the first place. There's still lots alive. Killed off 3 mixers and some power, but he's still got a T3 factory here. He's still got his quantum gateway over this way. So actually that maybe wasn't as effective as it could have been if those nukes had been a little more spread out. Second nuke did clear all the wreckage. You have a valid point. Did it? There's still wreckage there. Okay. Submarine nukes, wimpy. But they're mobile and they can get the job done. Torpedo bombers coming on in and throwing the torpedoes at this Tempest. Really is not a bad idea to kill those off with the air. There's another Tempest back there, so it looks like there's just Tempest production coming out from slow hands. He's going to get a bunch of those and the water's going to have a bad time. In come the teamed up ASFs from team number 1, Trespasser and BJR coming on in with those guys. And now the whalers are here and Tempest trying to get underwater to get away from this. Too late. And there are torpedo bombers swinging in as well. Anyway, whalers also have anti-air. They will be the focus of the ASFs. They might be the tipping point for this air battle, perhaps. If there were some cruisers in the mix over here, that could have been a different story, but there are not. And the ASFs now actually chasing down these torpedo bombers as well. They have the Henricus Rex's ASFs completely outnumbered. Turn around and leave having done what they came to do, which is murder some whalers. And indeed, we've got some cruisers in this mix, would have been absolutely ideal. But alas, is not time. BJR finishes his experimental bomber. It is ready to do some damage. That nuke's loaded yet? Yes, it is. It's loaded. It's good. It can be launched on something. Well, I don't know what something is going to be launched on because there's a loaded anti-nuke there. There's a loaded anti-nuke there. There's a loaded anti-nuke there, which kind of helps with the loaded anti-nuke back here. So there's no real targets for that bomb. Could come over this way, I guess, kill off a few mass extractors. Is that worth it? Could come down here maybe and kill off the naval production. What kind of range does that have? Okay, no, that is just a range. It would have to edge nuke, like here or here. And the problem with that is landing there, it probably won't kill the HQ. However, this HQ was exposed. That HQ was covered, yes indeedy. But no, this HQ and all of this is quite exposed. A nuke here would be quite painful actually. Kill off the HQ, kill off the nuke subs. Oh, what was that? That was another support commander drop from BJR trying to be sneaky over this way. I can see there they are. There's the Rex, but the problem is there's just too much around. You got whalers, more whalers, battleships, torpedo bombers, and that is really a waste. I've seen one Billy launched out of Diesen. It landed about here, somewhere. It's just the one. But yeah, these guys ain't doing much. They're going to pop out the water and they're going to get absolutely hammered from anything and everything. Yeah, there's just too much air for a Rainbow Kong drop at this stage. Too much Navy and they're going to get virtually nowhere. It was the O-ship, Billy. My word, look at the health just disappear off that thing. So many whalers, so much Navy. I don't think those got enough done to warrant justify being built. Okay, another push coming off the middle. This time there's some Zui support. Zui's might not get a lot done. There's some T2 Navy, although the T2 Navy's back here. There's a battlecruiser which I have a grand old time, some T1 Navy. Of course, the Zui's are hover, so these subs are essentially useless. They're going to get nothing done. Battlecruisers are pushing forward. They're going to run afoul of a couple of battleships, though. I'm not sure that's the right idea. So yeah, he did fire one Billy. Yeah, I think he fired it around here somewhere. Like he thought there was Navy, but not much. Yeah, no, this is the team 4 versus 4. This is team matchmaking 4 versus 4, and now you've got one team in the red yellow and one team in the blue lavender. So I like it as well. It's very clear to see who the teams are, much easier than the random colours they gave out previously. Really does clear things up and is a good change to the matchmaking. Alright then, so what else have I got there? Those bugs are coming along. In fact, one bug is almost done. They could use that air bug with the air advantage. They don't have air actually. Just thinking about it, air firmly belongs in the hands of BJR. He has been absolutely monstering the air game because he hasn't been in Navy, although he is now. There is a T3 factory here. He was definitely focusing on the air game a lot in the early stages. Excuse me, clearing my throat like that. Right, down this way, a second nuke launcher, so let's doing what it is. That is coming out from the sky. And where's it going for? It is going for this navy. Or if they retreat back into it, it's going to be a bad time. Wait. Are they splitting perfectly? You say good nuke, but I killed a bunch of T2 and T1 units, but that was, I think he was actually moving these over this way, but either way, he managed to split the nuke, and it didn't get a lot done. It was until these guys moved out of the way. Indeed, I agree there. It was a good guess about where the nuke was going, though. It was a pretty damn good guess, so, Sam is on the money with this. Look at that. What's going on here? We have drops, possibly just going in for a mass, who knows? Oh, indeed. Okay. Buggers up. Buggers on the way. That was all well and good. Who's that? Oh, he's ACU. It's being handed over. Okay. Okay. Where did the other Awasa go for TV Rock? I completely missed it. Did it die somewhere? I have no idea. That's the dear support commander. I might as well reclaim that. 8,000 mass.
Strategic launch detected.
And whoop, there we go. Another nuke out from these guys. How many has he got in there loaded? 5 nuke subs. Let's drop in all. Oh, that's a bit better. That's not a bad idea. Drop the nuke while they're fighting.
Launch detected.
That's finally a nuke out from Space Whales. He's had that nuke launcher for ages. That might have been better. Might have been better, but it kind of wasn't. This nuke lands, doesn't even kill any of the air off. The whalers are still on the ground, the ASF's still in play, but they're going to get mopped by BGR's Air Force. And I really hate to say it, but oh hello. There's some anti-Europe over here, but that is now the focus of a couple of battleships. And that is going to be a bad time. ASFs are loitering, so they're going to get chipped down by these SAMs, but battleships are really going to do a number on this section over here, especially being on the nice long range heavy bombardments. Not a good time. Nuke lands down here, does take out, looks like a single battleship. I think it was a battleship. Probably. And does some damage to these guys, barely. They're absolutely fine. So misplaced nuke, unfortunately, doesn't go down well. Another nuke out from Trespass. Those nuke subs popping up down here, and if these guys sit still, that's going to be bad. I think he's expecting it around here somewhere, judging from the split that's going on. But this one actually might land and do some extra damage. Nuke out there from the other launcher. Space Whales, and that's a good nuke. If nothing moves, that's going to be a decent nuke. Going to do some good damage against all of this, and the Tempest coming on in. Good times a charm. Not really. Still very few kills on there. That was well split. How's this one going? This one's looking a bit better. Looks like it's going to land on all of these cruisers, although there might be movement at the last moment. I think they're going to be. Oh no. That's good. A little bit better. Nukes are just so ineffective on land. Sorry, in water. Massively ineffective. Okay. Superior land nuke, yes, but hey, they're still not great in water. Okay, hello, Awasa coming in from Mr. Prime. Sorry, BGR White. That is on the way. Mad amount of torpedo bombs coming through. There's an Awasa coming over from TV Rock. What is that going to bomb? The answer is maybe nothing, because it is down into the red with a single pass from a bunch of assets from Trespasser. And that Awasa is going to turn into a story with the support commander about it flying over his head as a corpse. But this guy is coming on in, and this could be... Is that TV Rock? What's it going for? The answer is going for... Rose base. And backs on the shield. The shield stays up. There's a fair amount of anti-air around the place. It's down to 2/3 health already. ASF's come on in from Henricus Rex, going to do some extra damage. Another nuke coming out here from Trespasser's nuke subs. And a second nuke coming out. The Awasa is down, lands right in front of these naval factories. Get your reclaim on, boys. It is yours to be had. This looks like a decent nuke. This time it's going for the production, not going for the mobile navy at all. That could be a much better tactic to attempt again. A decent split out of the nukes, but the second nuke is going to catch a few things down there. Another Awasa coming in, and this time is going for, oh dear, TV Rocks Commander. Ooh, one bomb, 500 health left. And I think we're going to see the death of him. I do not think he can get under the shield in time, although that Awasa took a long time to turn around, but it is. I don't think he's going to make it. It's going to be close though. Actually no. The Awasa going to make it plenty of time to kill off TV Rocks Com. See you later, mate. Nice knowing you. 5 steps from survival. Boom. Being a ladder game, it is full share. This will go over to somebody else, but look at all the Zoes BJR, and there's a lot of land factory Zoe spam. Dear me. He has 31 T1 land factories, all spamming Zoes, and just have a look at the lines along the way. That is a lot of Zoes. There's a lot of problems.
Strategic launch.
Oh, that's something big. Mavor, and it is nearly, well, yeah, it's about half built. That is going to be a nice little game changer. It'll be incredibly useful. Another nuke coming out from these subs, and these subs have just been merciless. Bunches and bunches of kills on these things. Those nukes have been absolutely worthwhile. Oh no, this time it's going to connect well. That's a lot of damage to battleships, cruisers, and some shield boats. That's a good nuke. That was a much better connection. I think that was 2 battlecruiser, damaged battleship, a couple of cruisers, a couple of shield boats. Very, very bad. In the meantime, Zooey spam on the way. Have a look at it come. That is going to cause quite a bit of havoc. I mean,
Strategic launch detected.
they've got a couple of Soul Rippers here. Go get some free kills, boys. Free kills. Nice and easy. Another nuke out from these subs, and this time spotting up down here. Looks like it's going to connect with a couple of battleships who won't be able to get out of the way in time. At least one of them won't be able to. Maybe do some damage to the support commanders who are bringing harms. Not bad, actually. It's not bad. Massive amounts of damage to these 2 battleships, and support commanders are okay. They don't need to worry so much. There we go. The whalers now are out having a whale of a time. Just simply belching up all those. And oh, it's a Cooper. I wonder why I wasn't shooting at these. It's a bloody Cooper. That's going to get nothing done. And this HQ is now under threat. The whalers are killing off the wrong line of units. They want to kill off those, and really they want to kill off those. ASFs are loitering around from BJR. They want to think about going for these whalers, but they kind of can't. Going this way will be a little bit too much of a push. There is some anti-air around. And there we go, server starts. Good defense against Zoes. Good defense against Zoes. Rapid fire, they don't overkill much. I would think potentially the only better thing would be the Seraphim point defense, but it has issues shooting things that are moving sideways. And hello, there's been another drop over here. This time it's been a tier 3 drop. There's Othams along with some lightning tanks and some ground forces just to have a good old random wander. But how's the Mabel going? Oh my word, that has gone up quickly. Mermaids. Well, you say that. And I don't know if he was really nuking empty spots. I mean, they've got scouts going over all the time, so they know the vessels are there, so they... yeah. Trying to anticipate nuke, I would say. That is a lot of solaces. What on earth are they going for? It looks like a beeline for the naval HQ. Oh yes it is. That is a dead naval HQ. Look at all the torpedoes coming, look at the yellow dots, and it is just obliterated. Ain't no kill like overkill. Naval is basically done. It is done. It is done. It is erecting its turret, just like the giant erection Guile gets every time he sees one. And what are they going for? Looks like they're focusing on the Navy first. Okay, so they want to kill off all the naval HQs, I guess. Although maybe they will want to scout and look for a better target like some anti-nukes. Kill off the anti-nukes and throw some missiles over. You've got 2 nuke launchers of your own. You'll do some real good, but also you might want to scout the fact that they're building a Paragon back here. Yeah, I don't know about this choice. They have 2 nuke launchers. They now have the mass income to load them. I would definitely be thinking about targeting out these. Throw some mass scoutage over, kill off the SMDs, then nuke. Nuke the main bases, nuke the main eco. Because look at this. Look at this. This is just ridiculous. So many mass fabs. Slow hands and Tatsu. Tatsu over 1k mass income. How? Oh, these guys. Support commanders. Building more support commanders. Yes, indeed. What do we have exploding? I hear something. I don't see it. I heard something explode, but I don't know where it was. Oh, right. All the support commanders under this. So 1 T3 Navy HQ down means slow on Navy production. Not that it matters, because Trespasser wasn't really in the Navy aside from these guys over here. And there's a nuke out from Spaceballs. What's he going for? He's going for here. Maybe wants to try and do some damage to these paired Tempests and all these battleships off the coast. Not a bad choice. Maybe wants to put it a bit south perhaps, or maybe these guys were there but they moved out the way. Doesn't matter. Nukes can land and cause some extra damage. So it's going to be fun. Boom. The extra power of the land-based nuke launcher. Murders a Tempest just like that, but my word, look at the Zooey spam from BJR. 470 Zooeys. Holy shit. That's just ridiculous. This is Unicap. I got no idea. That's just ridiculous. There's such a long way to travel, and you know, we'll just die to the point of peace. Having said that, there is a Tempest over here, lobbing its shells over and smacking into a support commander. That's going to be painful. But no, T3 HQs have gone down. They're going down. Boomski. Does damage, but honestly, I think it's the wrong choice. You have a Mavor, you scout, and just have a look at how long it's been since these guys scouted. It has been a very long time indeed, and that's another few nukes. Oh, 5 nukes at once coming out of these subs from Trespasser. And where are they going? They're going down here. There are 4 anti-nukes in the clip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Huge mess in there. That was actually Rex's comm was right there on the edge of that explosion. They could have killed him right there and then, but the nukes were slightly misaimed. Did not get him. If he had ran, he might have run into the explosion though, but he's going to get a move on now because there are Rambo comms coming his way. He cannot face up against them.
Strategic launch detected.
They will absolutely fuck him over.
Strategic launch detected.
Well, mass fab isn't as big as they think it is. They think it's just that. If they knew it was all of that, you can guarantee they'd be hitting it. But no, that Maybor is absolutely going for the wrong thing. Kill the nuke defense, nuke this, nuke that. Kill the nuke defense, nuke that. Kill the nuke defense, nuke that. Yep. Rinse and repeat. Kill nuke defense. And nuke all of that. Is that friendly fire? I think that was friendly fire. That is friendly fire. So Trespasser, who has just gone and killed a couple of friendlies, trying to nuke whom? Oh, Rex needs to maybe not walk into the nuke. He's walking in the wrong direction. Is the nuke slow enough that he's going to walk into that explosion? Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, it's not going to be close because there's an anti-nuke over here. I was lucky. He just about walked into that. That was very lucky. But they don't have a lot of anti-nukes left. And there are a lot of nuke subs. What is the Maybor going for? Well, there we go. See, you've cut off the anti-nuke. Great. Now nuke. You've got one in the clip ready to go. Use it. It's right there. Ready to launch. The anti-nuke is dead. You could nuke all of this or all of that if you knew it was there. They still don't. They could nuke all of this. The Paragon is up. If they knew that was there, they'd nuke that in an instant, I am certain. And here come the Awasses. Oh dear. Gath is going on up. Don't know if it's going to complete though. There's a lot of pressure coming in. Tempest off the coast here. We have a land incursion of Zuis galore. Do have some point to be slowing those on down, but nukes dropping on in here. There is a support commander for that guy. Where are the two comms left? I think they're both here. There's Rex and there's Space Whales. So Rex and Space Whales in close proximity to each other right by the Maybor. Was going to be the first thing to go. All of this for a starter. Boom. So Trespasser is single-handedly trying to contribute to global warming, and the doubt the Awasses are in the ASS are asleep over here. Get them off the ground, you're gonna need them. One bomb away. The shield survives just long enough. The second bomb hits the shield, dies. Everything around it does well. The Maybor survives, but the commanders are hurt. Question is what's going to happen here. 1S. Oh, it dies, but it gets the bomb off. Oh, this might be GG right here. Boom. The Awassa lands before the bomb, takes out the shield, the bomb lands, and now it is just down to Henricus, all by his lonesome against this onslaught of units. 700 Zoes, oh my god. Yeah, maybe don't stand in the open. But boy, has he regen fast. Obviously got the nano regen on that comm. Look at the health go up. That is incredibly fast. He's a very hard comm to kill. But he's still alive. It's going to take a bit to kill him. Maybe he wants to walk that way. Not that way. Not towards the Tempest Fire. Maybe he wants to walk away from it. But dear oh dear. What we've got coming in his direction? Well, Salvation just about done. I only see another Awassa. That's the one. We have Tempest is still in range. He's sort of chilling in the middle of nowhere. They know exactly where he is, so yeah. Might as well get a snipe on that guy. Don't think it'll be too much longer. I'm just waiting for the inevitable. Is that going to be a attack snipe? No, it cannot be another attack snipe. Please no. That's just ridiculous. Alright, the Salvation is going all on. And where are the shells landing? Somewhere. Got it? Nope, that's from something else. The normal artists, right? T3 artists here from Tatsu, who started the naval. Probably overkill at the moment. Don't need the naval, and yes, indeed, the shells are landing. Henricus is running back this way, running into the shells, and I think we'll just speed this one up a little.
Launch detected.
There has been a nuke fired from where? I don't know. We actually don't know. But Salvation rounds coming on down. Henricus is running towards the back. Zooey Spam is coming on in. The tech launches are very much alive over here. A teleporter started for Henricus, so he wants to do something different. It's got the support commanders coming on in. They're going to help build that a bit faster. But he's standing right beside a T3 Pigeon, which is where these Salvation rounds are starting to land on the nuke, which has one in the clip. I'll launch it before it gets lost. Never mind, it's lost. And so Salvation fire lobbing on over, taking damage from that. 5 seconds left on the teleporter. Salvation fire coming on in and just bombarding down on top of him. He's not having a good time. Is the Salvation going to do him in? Maybe. Damage. Is he trying to teleport away? Yes, indeed, that is a teleport order. He's going somewhere. Not at this rate. Looks like he's going to hide in the corner. Oh, why not?
Strategic launch detected.
But doesn't matter.
Strategic launch detected.
Salvation has finished him off, and the nukes were coming on in. And that is the end of Henricus Rex, and that. Wow, it just escalated. 1 hour and 5 minute game time. Madness. Alright, folks. Well played by Team 1.